At 79, Steve Martin, the legendary comedian, writer, and actor who once lit up the stage and screen with his infectious energy, quick wit, and iconic banjo playing, now lives a life that many fans might find unexpectedly quiet. Some might even call it sad. For someone who was once one of the biggest names in comedy, who headlined sold-out tours and starred in blockbuster films like The Jerk, Father of the Bride, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Steve's present-day reality is a stark contrast. After decades in the spotlight, he's slowly withdrawn from public appearances, choosing instead to live in relative seclusion in his California home. He's not ill, nor bankrupt, nor forgotten. Rather, Steve Martin's sadness lies in the silence that surrounds a man who once thrived on laughter, applause, and the rush of creativity. Despite occasional appearances on shows like Only Murders in the Building, Steve has openly said he is winding down his career, signaling to fans that they may have seen the last of him as a leading entertainer. For Steve, the decision to step away from Hollywood wasn't sudden, it came gradually, driven by a deep weariness from decades of performance and a desire to enjoy what he calls normal life, but that normal life isn't filled with parties or travel. Instead, it's marked by solitude. In rare interviews, Steve has confessed that fame came at a price: strained relationships, missed moments, and a gnawing sense of isolation that even the brightest spotlight couldn't cure. Though he is married and has a young daughter, fans have noted that Martin's once ever-present joy seems dimmed, replaced by introspection and detachment. Friends describe him as distant and cautious with new people, often preferring the company of books or his banjo over social gatherings. The comedy clubs, red carpets, and movie sets that once defined his life are no longer part of his routine. What makes it even sadder is that Steve still possesses his brilliant mind and razor-sharp humor, but now, few get to witness it firsthand. For years, fans hoped for a stand-up comeback or another big comedy film, but Martin has repeatedly made it clear that those days are behind him. He's turned down numerous offers and has said that he wants to be remembered as someone who left on his own terms, not someone who faded trying to recapture old glory. And while that decision is admirable, it's also heartbreaking for fans who grew up idolizing him, who saw him not just as a comedian but as a symbol of joy, creativity, and eccentric brilliance. Steve Martin's current life is not tragic in the traditional sense. He's financially secure, in decent health, and surrounded by art and literature. But for someone who once lived to entertain, the silence is deafening. The absence of laughter, the lack of a crowd, the end of his once relentless creative drive, those are the things that make this chapter feel undeniably sad. Steve Martin gave the world so much joy, and now, in his twilight years, he seems to live quietly with the echoes of laughter that once followed him everywhere. It's a poignant reminder that even legends must one day set down their instruments, leave the stage, and face the stillness that comes after the final curtain falls.